specifically Nooksack and Lummi tribes, who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. On behalf of everyone here, we want to express our deepest respect and gratitude for our Indigenous neighbors, the Nooksack and Lummi tribes, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. What's next?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of agenda, and I don't believe we have any changes to the agenda, so I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Motion to approve agenda as written. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Information from the audience, public comments? No one signed up, Tammy? Okay. So now we will adjourn to executive session. And Nick will be here for the first part. The board will cover one personnel issue and then also discuss the interim superintendent contract. No action to be taken during executive session. The board may or may not take action when they return to open session. And I expect this to take probably about 20 minutes.
Okay, are we staying in here in this room?
Or
For
you
executive?
Yeah, if
No, Mary's office.
we can
We'll
go, yeah. Let's go
People
back.
online can stay.
What's that?
Yeah. yeah.
People online can stay
Yeah.
online if they want. Okay.
The executive session has been extended 15 minutes.
Reconvene. And we have, next item is board comments. So I'll start with you, Danielle.
Well, one of the things that I've been thinking about with a superintendent role is that scope of impact, right? We've got a lot of big decisions in front of us with our budget. And as a board, we want dollar for dollar to get the best impact for the money that we spend, right? I mean, we have to be very efficient. And when you think about the role of a superintendent, they have the potential to impact every person in the district, right? And so when we're thinking about where to spend those dollars, it's a good investment to have a person that we believe can do the job really well in that role.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just comment on the interview that we conducted last week with Phil Brockman. I thought he did an excellent job. I thought he brought a lot of the experience and expertise that we're looking for with regards to the budget development, potentially helping with bargaining and guidance through the levy process. Probably the best credible thing is that he was a superintendent for 8 years. A lot of superintendents don't last that long, right? I think he averaged 3 years for school districts our size. So the fact that he was there for 8 years through some ups and downs, I think says a lot. And being from Cedro-Woolley, it's a very close school district. A lot of connections with our school district, understands, who we are at Mount Baker, and I think we'd be very lucky to have him in that role.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I re-listened to the interview today, and what really struck out to me was the emphasis he made on collaboration and working with the different groups and stakeholders in the district, and transparency, and just the amount of he just sounded really like ready to go. So I feel confident that he would do a good job, and I think it's going to be a good fit.
Yeah, I agree. I think in his interview, he dove right in and hit on every point that we're looking for and needing help in. He's been involved in a lot of those points. It's not like he's jumping in without trying to do this before. So that's really what we need on as a whole, is a guy like that. He has the experience. He hit on all key points that we need help on, and he's been involved in. I agree. I think he'd be a good asset at this time for us. From Cedar-Woolley, smaller community like us, understands what Baker is. So I think that's really good.
And for me, I'm looking at the leadership needs over the next period of time, and for what we need to accomplish in the next several years. Most of that trajectory will have the work on most of that trajectory happens in the next number of months. So the bargaining will start, both unions, the budget development that sets a new track for our budget that then we will carry out over the next several years. But the reconfiguring our staffing, and other issues that are really going to make or break our next, how we get to a sustainable budget, and will happen in this next period of time. And I also felt that with Mary leaving mid-year, we have too big of a workload for our administrative capacity. Everyone already had a job, and so you take that much off of the ability to accomplish what we do. We had that extra pressure, and I think and we could fit in a part-time person anywhere in that part, but I think we'll get the most benefit by doing it at the superintendent's level. And for me as a board member, the superintendent is the critical position for the board, because it's the only way that we interact between the board and the staff, and it's a two-way street. And it has to be. And I think we've had some deficits in that, I will say, in the last period of time, and I'm looking for rebuilding that and that connection between the board and the staff through the superintendent. So, and I think to whatever extent the board members, the board can help in accelerating that transition, getting us on the road. I'm personally willing to really put some time into it up front, especially to get that going, because I think we don't have much time to really get most of our main work done. We've got to hit the ground running, and so this is actually the time to put the time in. So and personally, I have worked with Phil over the years. He has had a very good reputation in Cedar Woolley, and then prior to coming to Cedar Woolley, a very distinguished career in Seattle School District. So he's covered the areas that we really need that leadership. He's done those jobs, and I think can bring a lot to our team too that way, and build on the strengths that we already have. And it's critical that that team, and I think that Phil is in a better position to help cement that team. And so I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Any other thoughts or?
Just like Russ said, and I didn't hit on it, what he can bring to help our people now to grow as a team could really help in the long run of moving forward in the future for sure.
So if there's no other thoughts or discussion, we entertain a motion to consider the appointment of Phil Brockman as interim superintendent.
Motion to consider Phil Brockman as interim superintendent.
Well, motion to appoint. Not
Motion to appoint
appoint.
Phil Brockman as interim superintendent.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So that's and then the other point of business in regard to that is I would like the board to appoint two of us to work with our admin team and Phil to complete a draft contract details.
I'll volunteer
So
to help out.
I'll volunteer also if that sounds good. Then as I say, it'd be a draft. You'll get a chance to review it, and ideally, I would like that personally. I think we should shoot for getting that ready for our next board meeting next week. And so if we can schedule that for the meeting, how we can fit that in time-wise.
Time frame for start date? The time frame for Phil's start date would be, what are we hoping?
Well, so if we could complete a contract by next Thursday, then he could potentially start the following day.
Okay. Get him going as soon as possible. I know there's that.
Hmm?
There's that pressure with that impending levy to try to.
Right, yeah, I don't think that we want to wait any longer than necessary to get going. And also Phil, I think we mentioned in a previous meeting, he's willing to do a part-time 0.7, 0.8, and I would recommend personally 0.8, but we can work out that detail and bring it back as part of the draft contract. And that's part of that discussion is with the rest of the admin team So who does what duties and then how does this fit together? And because there's plenty of duties to go around. There's more than we have actually personnel in my mind. And so it's because of so much that has to get done in this fairly short period of time. I think everybody's gonna both have to pull together and work together. And so it's but I believe we can. I actually have so much confidence in our team. We've got a great group of people, so I don't think that's going to be an issue for us. Anything else?
Nope.
If not, so we'll adjourn, and then we probably don't have any documents to sign, so but we'll. I think, Nick, if we can schedule.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
The biggest